Welcome to another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Wally. And today I'm so excited to have on an unknown aged male, 42, from Cardiff, Wales. His hockey journey has taken him to Wales, England, Austria, maybe some other places. I don't have anything written down because we talk about 7 times a year. He is one of the best spray painters in the world. He has spray painted my canvas and my tallywhacker. I don't believe he has won a trophy since he won one with yours truly, and it's about time he actually wins something again. Welcome to my sister's cottage, Dease.
Hello, Wally. I've won a few things. I've won a few things since I last saw you.
What?
Well, you left the Devils. We won the league. We won the playoffs.
Oh, right, you're still part of
Um,
all that. I forgot when you
yeah.
left.
And then I won a bronze medal last year at the World Champs with Team Austria, and then the year before I won a bronze medal with the Chinese men's team. So,
I
and this
guess
year we got a great team, so we're in the mix.
Okay, well, I guess if you're winning bronze medals, way to go.
It's better. It's better than nothing. It's better. You take those
I
small
guess you have
wins; they'll
something
add
to
up.
hang up, but it sounds
Yeah,
like you finished third.
yeah, yeah. Finished third out of I think six. So we got a we got a
Way
500
to go.
record. We're
Way to
fucking
go.
take a we'll take a 500 record. It's better than a fucking nothing.
How's your team doing this year?
Great. We're what are we? I think we're 6-1-1. So for our
Oh,
listeners that don't understand what that means is we played eight, we've won six, lost one, and we lost one in overtime. So that's a 6-1-1.
that's pretty good. So you got some players.
Yeah, well, compared to last year, I think we won six all last year, and it was a grind. And
Mm,
then we got a new owner, got a bit of cash injection.
you need those
Add,
injections.
yeah, we didn't keep a single import here. I think we only kept four, maybe five players from last year.
So it's a whole new
I'm
team.
yeah, we ripped it apart
So they must
and
have gelled
rebuilt it.
pretty quick then, eh?
Yeah, well, we did 10 days away together in the other side of Austria called Kitzbühel for a camp, and then we played a shitload of preseason games and stuff, and we've done a lot of team building things and dinners and things like that, and it's great. We've not got not one bad apple where you like, you always get a guy on a team where you're like, oh my fucking God, he's on his own page. But
Yeah.
we don't have that. We really don't have that. And it's such a breath of fresh air that you haven't got one guy where you're like, oh my God, what is he doing? No one's super negative, nothing.
Yeah, negativity is not what you need around. So
No,
where is your coach? Wasn't he Swedish?
he was, yeah, the coach last year, Johan. He's coaching over in Finland now. He's in JYP or YIP, I don't know.
Oh yeah, the
He's in the,
Yippers.
yeah. So he's
Who's your
over
coach
there.
now then?
Harry Langer, he was the assistant
Shut
coach
your.
for,
We talked about
yeah,
this, didn't we?
yeah, we talked about
Can you
this.
tell him
I
to get
think
in the shed?
I don't think he's a shed guy, Wally.
Harry? I
I
know he
don't think he's
is.
a shed guy.
Yeah, he is.
Well, I'll ask him tomorrow at practice, but
You don't think he
he's,
wants to talk to me?
I think he's business, Wally. He's got a brand new
He's all
baby.
serious now?
He's all business,
Really?
all
Um,
business.
he was a fun guy when I met him. He was Sharpie, my goalie in Bietigheim. They were like best buddies from when they played in Graz together.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
then my assistant coach is Nate Di Casimiro, who used to play for Sheffield.
I don't think I know who
So
that is.
I think he was in Sheffield the first year you were in the UK.
Really? That
So I'm
doesn't
pretty
sound right.
sure.
No, you're wrong. I'd remember that.
Let me look on the old
Yeah, here you
Elite
go.
Prospects.
Um,
You know,
well, anywho, it's nice seeing you again today. Isn't it fun that I started a podcast and I get to see all my friends whenever I want?
I get to see you way too much, Wally.
Remember when I first came back and like no, I didn't see nobody for like years.
It's just a ghost.
That's
You
way more fun now.
just a ghost. But
Uh, so
let's
Harry,
see.
I remember when Sharpie was raving about him because he came to the second league in Germany because he has German pass or whatever.
That's
But
it. Yeah, his grandparents are German.
yeah, yeah, Sharpie raved about him and said he was always his captain in Graz. So he went from being the captain to now back as the coach, eh? Real legend
Yeah,
around there.
yeah. And
And with a budget,
he's
with cash injections.
yeah. You know, we're not the biggest spending team in the league, um, by a distance, but we've got a lot more budget than we've had in a long, long time.
Mm.
So it allows us
Who
to
is the
recruit
big
better
budget
players.
teams? Vienna?
No, Vienna, not so much. Big budget teams,
Salzburg.
Salzburg,
Yeah.
Bolzano, Ferivar, and this year it's Ljubljana.
Really?
Ljubljana have got a new owner and they've got a massive, massive cash injection, and that's who we lost to yesterday.
Oh.
So we
Um,
lost 3-2.
I had interest from that league and chatted a couple times with teams, but I was always curious about how I would have done in that league, you know? Never
I
did
think
make
you
it
would have
there.
liked it. It's more of a skill league than a bump and grind league, obviously, which is what the elite league is. It's more of a bump and grind,
Oh yeah.
and it's
It
a
is
chip.
weird
You
how
know, it's
every
a
league
chip
is
and
different.
chase.
Oh yeah, every
Yeah,
league's totally different. Denmark was different than Germany. Germany was totally different than the UK. You do have to adapt to what you're into.
yeah. You look at the Swedish league, and it's all about puck possession. The Dell is very much more North American, where they'll dump it in and they'll hunt you.
Yeah, there's
He
more
has more
North Americans
skill.
playing in it.
Yeah, yeah. He is more of a skill league. It's a hybrid between the dump and chase,
Yeah.
German British game and the Swedish game, and then you look at Finland, and I have no fucking clue what Finland are doing. They're playing chess while
They
everyone else is
muck
playing
it. They
checkers.
muck. They
They're
muck.
it's a weird system to watch when you watch the Finnish league.
Speaking of different countries and whatnot, wasn't it fun when it was Andy's birthday and we all sang birthday songs?
In different languages to him.
So, folks that didn't know, it was Andy, our other favorite kit guy in Frölunda, his birthday. So I sang him Schöne Geburtstag. I sang him Happy Birthday in German, right? I was good, wasn't I? More of a dancer
You
than a singer.
you were pretty good, Wally. And then I was fresh out the doctor's office, just off my IV, still looking like death warmed up because I had flu all last week.
Dude, you
And
were
I sung
looked
him
like
a
a mess. You looked like
oh,
a
I was
oh
I
my
was
God.
I was real bad. Last week was horrible, dragging my ass around. And then the team got me an IV Thursday afternoon, and you saw me literally 10, not even 10 minutes after IV, so I was still dead. And then I woke up Friday morning. Wow, I felt $1,000,000.
Those
But
IVs
literally,
are a real thing
oof.
though, man. I remember a night in Landshut, my first year in Germany. I was so sick that I was literally in the fetal position in the bathroom, laying on the floor, like shitting and puking myself. And and then I guess Lisa had to call the team and be like, I think he's like dying. And then they
Do
it
we have
was
insurance?
it was the day of the game and they sent me to a doctor and the guy hooked me up with an IV and it was amazing how it changed my day. And then they're like,
Yeah, a
"Well,
couple hours later.
they're like, you can play tonight." I'm like, "I sure can." And then I went out there and mucked her up, and I was not feeling well.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
but
things you do to play
those,
hockey, eh?
but whatever they told me it was just minerals and wellness. I was like, I'm sure you put crack in here.
It's
There's no
it's
way I should
amazing
have
how it
this
can make
energy.
you feel better, eh?
It was wild, like really wild. And then, once I had the
Do you
IV, I
think
was
on a
like,
normal
oof,
day if you have that, it'll put you in a better mood? I bet you it would.
for sure. Like
Yeah,
just
yeah.
puts all the liquids and minerals back in your body so you feel like 100% again. I was
It'd be like if we
flying
took
around.
care of ourselves, right, Dease? Sometimes
I'm
we need
better at
minerals
taking
and
care of
wellness to
myself.
help us out a bit, I guess.
Well, I'm a lot better than I was this time last year, that's for sure.
Oh, that's good. Are you getting in shape?
I got a weight bench here, which I use but not so often. And then I got a bicycle this week. Decided I got myself a
Like a
fucking
bicycle to
bicycle.
bike around town, outdoors,
Yeah,
or
like
stationary?
no, like go outside bicycle, like
Well, yeah, you're in Europe. You
actual one.
should have a bicycle and cruise around. It's fun, right?
Yeah. So I got myself, and it's not one of those newfangled e-bike things where the battery does it all for you. I bought one with fucking Shimano gears and all these things, and so
So you
I'm
got a
gonna go
nice
up and
one.
down the river. I wouldn't say it's that it works.
I tell you, the living in Europe thing, you're making me kind of jealous because I would just walk my dog around and you just sit down, have a coffee somewhere, walk around, have lunch somewhere, walk around, have a beer somewhere, and you're like, oh, I'm outdoors just enjoying the day.
Well, it's middle of October. Like, can you see how bright it is? The sun's shining. Um, when was it? Saturday. I was just sat on my balcony in a pair of shorts, nothing else, and I was cooking. And I'm thinking, Jesus, I could be back in Cardiff or Manchester looking at the rain,
Hopefully you
freezing
were wearing a
cold.
shirt so the neighbors didn't have to see that shit.
No one can see in. I got the best balcony. Like you'd need a set of binoculars to be spotting me. I s- I sit out there in the summer, tanning them,
Just tanning your titties, eh?
tanning my balls. I sit on the balcony stark naked. I don't care. You
Um,
know,
so I
remember
know,
that thing a few years ago? Guys wanted it. They said it was healthy for you to get sunlight on your asshole. I could do that if I wanted to. I'm not into that, but I could do it.
okay, you've lost me. I haven't.
Curveball.
I didn't write any notes down again today because this is like your 37th time on the podcast. But I don't think I mean, I think we have new listeners now, more recent listeners that have joined in that maybe haven't heard the stories of. I
Uh,
mean, isn't it weird, when we were back with the Cardiff Devils that we were we were just playing hockey as hard as we could, and
it's just a gong show.
I mean, there's some of the most incredible hockey stories that ever existed in the game, aren't they?
Well, like for example, because obviously my season finished early, we didn't make playoffs last year, and I went back and I managed to catch. I was home for a week before I had to go away with the Austrian national team, and I managed to catch three Devils games. And I was up on the gantry with Todd, and we were just shooting the shit during the game. And I said, Can I go do a pre-game speech next game before I fly home?" And he's like, "No." And I said, "Why not?" He said, "You'd have the five guys that you still know and talk to think it was the most amazing day ever because you've come back." He said, "But
They
the rest of the team would probably be filing lawsuits because, like, the world has changed. You can't do that
you
anymore.
can't have nearly as much fun as you used to.
No, no, you can't prank people as much as you used to. Like,
So are you playing this
it,
new school hockey stuff now too and not having fun?
oh, I make fun. I make fun.
Yeah,
Like our
you
captain,
have
our
to.
captain, uh, our captain takes this little Theragun thing everywhere with him, and we got a rubber dick here, like that I randomly hide places,
You
and
have
I
a
managed
rubber
to
dick
jam it
that
in.
you hide places?
Yeah, I just randomly put it in guys' fucking gloves and stuff on road trips, and so they open their bag and they're like, "Oh my God!"
There's a dick.
And it was pre-game on Friday, and he was the last one to leave, and he was in the shower, and I just jammed it in his bag where
Stop.
he keeps this
I
Theragun
thought you were
thing.
jamming it somewhere. I was like, what?
Oh no! Whoa, whoa,
Okay,
whoa.
jeepers.
And
I
then
know you cross the
then
line sometimes. I thought that was gonna get pretty
I'm a
aggressive there.
lot better. I'm a lot better on the line these days.
Good.
But
That's good.
then I got a message about an hour later because he must have opened his bag to use the Theragun, and he just replied, "Jesus Christ, that thing popped out because I folded it in half when I put it in. So when he unzipped it, it went twang. Like holy fuck!"
Well, I'm glad you're still playing the game, Dease.
So I just try to keep the room light.
It's weird that Todd didn't want you to do the pregame speech because when you had me back for Wally night there, um, I well, I had to they wanted me to do the pregame speech still, and I only knew about 7 or 8 guys on the team, and you know what? Nobody filed a lawsuit. I think everybody laughed at the show.
Yeah, yeah. But I think everything's just got a lot more professional now. It's more business.
Business. Ugh.
It-
It's a,
It's more
like
business.
hockey's supposed to be fun,
Yeah, and that's what I try to do. Just try and keep it light,
it's
have
got to
fun,
stay
chirp
light.
guys.
That sometimes when the season just seemed too serious and too much pressure and too business, it's harder to be loosey goosey and feel the flow, feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. You know,
And you just, when do you play best? You play best when you have a smile on your face, when you're just
right?
rolling with it. But when you're gripping the stick too tight, you don't play so well.
No,
You're just worried about making mistakes and things going wrong. And
I totally agree. Geez, for someone that doesn't seem very smart, Dease, you do have a bit of a hockey brain in there. Did you know that?
I have a little one. I have a little one.
Yeah, that is a little one.
Yeah, it's a little one. That's only my brain that's little, whereas you, well,
Well, but like for the people that haven't heard the stories of our pregame speeches, Deese, like, can you actually remember or picture that, like, you would spray paint me like naked before every pregame speech in the shower,
in,
and
in the
and
shower.
and then all the masseuses and doctors and everybody would be in that room and watch me walk by spray painted naked with a Thor hammer, and we were just playing the game.
Pembo's kid. Yeah. You're like, hey, how you doing? Don't mind us. Coming through.
Sorry about this, guys. We're just playing the game as hard as we can. Just aren't allowed to
Yeah.
play tonight.
Two two naked guys just walking around the dressing room, spray painted different colors or something.
That Captain America photo, Dees. I mean, I never had that photo until I started the podcast. And then you all of a sudden sent it to me and went, I think you wrote whammy. It's
And
the
you
most
replied, Jesus
ridiculous
Christ,
photo
please
ever.
delete it. And the
Like
Hulk one.
if you show the whole picture, I've cut off the,
Yeah.
the bottom part of it.
If you expand a little.
Well, wasn't it wild how many games we were winning when we were doing those speeches?
I think I went 19-0 once.
I was 9-0. Then Colby did the pregame speech with me when he was Hulk when he was 3 years old, and then we lost a game, and then Colby wasn't asked back.
Yeah. And he's out.
Pretty fun though that I did a pregame speech with my son in professional hockey, isn't it?
That's one you can keep hold of and you can tell him, when you're old and grey or at his wedding.
Right. Yeah, some people thought that maybe I shouldn't have been naked for that one, so I could have shown people the video, but I mean, I was into something and I was 9-0 being naked. How could I put on clothes then, right?
You can't change a winning team.
No, you can't.
You don't change a winning team.
Remember when we were Ninja Turtles?
Ninja Turtles is funny.
Did you have a skateboard?
I came in with a skateboard. That was funny. I was telling my girl the other day, I don't think, I don't know if you were still there. You might have been playing actually. The one in Belfast, where we were in Belfast, and they do that like go-kart thing in the period
Oh,
breaks where they get two people to race,
yeah,
and I
you
stole
you
one of the go-karts.
you told me about that when I didn't get to do the road games unless I got on the fan bus, you know?
Yeah, the go-kart one was wild because I stole a go-kart, and then Jermaine opened the door and I come ripping in, spinning around the locker room, announcing the lineup and high-fiving everyone naked on a go-kart. And then Jermaine opened the door so I could go back out. And you remember in Belfast, the dressing room is right next to the tunnel. So I forget this and I come zipping out the room and I stop. And then I just casually look to my right and there's a whole arena full of people who can see straight down the tunnel.
And you're
And
naked?
luckily I'm sat down and so they can't see
Oh,
my junk. But I'm like, oh,
you
back
could
up,
have you could
throw
have
it in
ended up in
reverse.
jail that night.
It was a solid. Uh-oh, that short video where the guy in the wheelchairs, like, and the fireworks are going off, and like, back it up, Terry, back it up, put it in reverse, Terry. I was like, you put that in reverse. I had to backpedal pretty quick before I got in trouble on that one.
Well, I would say one of my most memorable ones was when I had never been on to a road game. I had only done the home speeches, and we were fired up. We were winning games, and then we were playing Sheffield, and we were like first and second in the league. And I said, I got to be there, and then got on the fan bus and set it all up with the fans, and then had a couple pints on the way to the game because I didn't have to play, and I'd get a
If you
bit
do,
I get a bit nervous for my pregame speeches, so I just needed a couple to get relaxed. And then when we got to Sheffield early, we went to the bar across the road. I had more pints with the Sheffield and Cardiff fans, and it was like a hockey family in there. And they saw my bag and was curious what was in it. But then I had my Thor hammer and my wig
Thor
and
hammer.
my
Thor hammer.
helmet.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely a fucking Thor hammer.
Well, if you have a Thor hammer, you have to show everybody these. But then I hid in the shower. You hid me in the shower during warm-ups, and then you dressed as Steeler Dan, and then I came out of the shower hot.
Real hot. Real hot.
I thought it was cool though that the guys had no idea I was like 5.5 hours away, and then all of a sudden here I am.
It, it was real cool till you hit me,
I
and then I
hit
couldn't
you.
walk.
I hit you so hard, but you have to work hard and play hard. And you were Steeler Dan. I had to show them what we had to do to them.
I had to have an ice pack the whole game because I couldn't walk from the bench to the dressing room. I was like, oh my fucking God.
I have the video, and I cannot show anybody the video, but I did hit you extremely hard. And I'm sorry, but I'm not. I was just playing the game.
Fucking limping for a week.
And I still have that Thor hammer. It's up in the shed.
Still
Fun.
thunders and lightning somehow.
Somehow those batteries are still going.
Oh, look what I got today, Wally. You'll like this. Look what I got today.
Oh, an arrow bar.
I got a
Uh,
delivery today from my girl. She sent me presents from back home.
oh, that's nice.
So,
I really enjoy chocolate throwing in hockey. I'm having a lot of fun. Manchester still has a chocolate storm after every win at home, and I think it's so neat that I got to start that. And I'm going to talk to Critch tomorrow about how much fun we've had. But anywho,
good.
and Mac is going to be back in a couple weeks, and then we have to break the Twix record that we own in Herning, Denmark, right?
They got to make sure they scoop them all up and count them all rather than Bouncy eat them all.
Well, they have to beat 1,004 or else they lost, right? They
Could be
better
a
be
bit
they
good
better be
business
ready to play. I hope
opportunity.
they haven't forgot about me over here in my shed having fun. I hope they're listening and are going to be ready to play when Mac's back.
They could be a really good business opportunity. If I was in town, I would set up a little stall right outside the rink. I go buy 1,000 Twixes, and then, say I'm buying them at 50 cents each. I'd sell them at 60 cents each. You're going to make some good money there.
And then it takes everybody to win, and then everybody just does their part, and then we beat the record, right?
Exactly.
Hmm.
You should write to those Guinness World Records people, ask them what the record is for
Well,
chocolate bars to be thrown on the ice.
do you don't think I already have it? I don't know if Guinness World Records knows about the shed.
You should ask them, but I'm pretty sure if you set a Guinness World Record, then you're also going to have the Hershey Bears are going to just murder you on that because obviously Hershey chocolate will get involved, and then it's the
Nah,
end.
I don't know about that. I actually don't know if the Denmark is the record of 1,004 Twixes. That is the record in Denmark, but Kit Kat get that with Mosey. Um, I don't know how
We
many
got people
chocolate
getting
bars.
concussions that night, right?
There was a lot of chocolate, and I don't think anybody counted them, but that very well could have been the record. You know, it's amazing how much
Were, were
fun I've
they
had
the
in my shed.
were they the 4 pack or were they the 2 pack?
Well, there was a lot of them. They were all different kinds of Kit Kats.
I have heard that Mosey does like 4 fingers.
Um, are your teeth still fixed?
Yeah, my teeth are fucking fantastic. $1 million teeth, baby.
Wow, good for you.
These are my forever teeth now.
Oh, those are good ones to have.
My $1 million smile. That's why I chew. I don't chew like loose anymore. I just chew baggies,
Right. Yeah,
and I chew the white stuff so it doesn't stain my teeth out.
I understand. Um, do you have any questions for me, Dease, since I have no notes and I don't even know what to ask you anymore?
Uh, I don't really have any questions, Wally. I know all about you. I know
Yeah.
everything what's going on. Have
Do
we
you
found
did
have
you
we
know
found
Joey Martin's
Andy a
having a
job?
testimonial?
Yes, I had heard about such a thing.
I heard it was
I
June
believe it is like,
14th.
but yeah, somewhere around there. Somewhere around there. I've been told got to make my schedule clear.
Mm, I believe my schedule will be clear.
Yes,
hmm
yes, I believe.
Uh,
But
it's going
I'm
to be
not
a real
drinking
muck
still,
running
so
going on in Wales that
well,
weekend.
I'm still not drinking, so I will be on best behavior. But
Sorry, you gave up drinking?
yeah, I haven't. I've probably had 20 beers since February, and no whiskey. Uh, last time I had a beer was somewhere in August, I think.
Uh, okay. Um, good for you. You feeling better?
So, yeah, I'm
What
feeling
spurred that
better.
on?
Uh, medical advice.
Hmm.
Medical advice.
Yeah.
I was pissing blood and stuff, and then I
Okay.
went to the doctor,
Okay.
and the doctor was like, "Okay, so what's going on?" And they run a shitload of tests, and they said, "How much you drinking?" I told them the number, and they said, "Okay," and they said, "That's a week," and I was like, "No, that's a day," and they were like, "Oh, okay," and then I said, "Yeah, but that's just the beers. Then I move on to the whiskeys when I get a bit tired." And they're like, "What do you mean?" And then they said, "Oh, but you're in one the next day." And I said, "No, I haven't had a hangover in 20 years, so I can just go." Then they asked me, "Do you wake up in the morning and have a beer?" And I was like, "No, I don't start drinking until like 2, 3 in the afternoon. I don't wake up craving it. I just like it. I'm just
Right.
good at it.
Yeah.
Just, just good at it. And so it was never that I was craving a beer. It was
You just
depression.
wanted one.
Yeah, it was depression of a culmination of things from last season, and
Ah,
all those things have gone. But they said like I had what did I have? Double kidney infection, um, enlarged prostate, bladder infection, and I had early onset cirrhosis of the liver. And they said if I continued drinking like I did, um, I would turn into a fully functioning alcoholic very soon, and then I would obviously be in a situation in the next 4 to 5 years. So I was like, okay. So they told me I wasn't allowed to just quit drinking because I had not a dependency, but well, yeah, I guess I did have a dependency. And so I moved it from the 8 to 12 beers and half a bottle of whiskey a day I was doing. I scaled it down and I went to like 4 beers a day, and then I for 2 weeks, then I did 2 beers a day for 2 weeks, and then I just
good for you.
killed it.
Yeah, boom. Got it.
So yeah,
That's what you should do. I find listening to that story quite interesting for myself because I would say when I started this and I was so excited to see my friends and to talk to them again and do this, I would get sometimes in one doing the podcast.
I got in a few with you.
Right. And
That's
I
very
was
true.
I was doing it quite a bit there and having the time of my life. And then I realized that I don't have to drink to have fun talking to my friends. And
No,
now, you call it 2 L's and oxtails. I usually don't drink on here now. I actually get just as excited to talk to my friends whether I drink or not. And it's the same as like I went golfing the other day and I had packed a couple drinks because I thought it would be more fun to have a couple drinks while I golf. And then I was having so much fun golfing, I never even thought about the drinks. Never drank them.
that's
Yeah,
good.
right?
You don't need them. Like we're sponsored by a brewery here, and I got that was the other problem is I have unlimited beer. I'd like
Right. That's a yeah, that's slippery slope.
I yeah, I never have to pay for a beer. And I was like, oh well, take full advantage of that. And now I just have no want, no desire for it. And I had two when was it? August time I had two beers and I it gave me a real big buzz and I was like, oh, I don't like it.
Well, my brother from last year, my co-coach, he doesn't drink, but I had no idea the variety of near beers there are out there with the 0%. Like he had all different kinds, and like, he stood around having beer. There just wasn't alcohol in it, and it's like, huh, that kind of makes sense.
I don't think I've ever tried any of the zero beers, to be honest. I'm scared that like once you have a zero beer, you'll get the taste back and then
Mm,
I'll just go back to normal beers. So I just steer clear of
don't.
it.
All right. Yeah, I remember I've drank near beers before, like when I'm driving.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, I try to make sense when I live.
That
Mhm.
definitely makes sense. But then the other thing is like
Is
I
this a
never have
hockey
to think,
podcast? What are we even talking about anymore?
well, I don't know. Your last episode as well was oh, I forget the guy's name now
Tom,
that's playing. Yeah, Tom that's playing that was a deep podcast, but I really enjoyed it.
me too. I took me a while to wrap my brain around what I had heard that day.
Good for him. He's happy. He's back. He's doing what he loves.
Yeah,
So it's a good feel good story with him.
I totally agree. And what a nice guy. And yeah, it's nice meeting nice people.
Exactly. So,
Hmm.
it was fun.
I heard the Cardiff Huskies are going to send me a jersey now for the shed, and I think I'm going to have the coolest shed in the world. You know?
Yeah. Has Andy sent you a
No,
Frolander one yet?
nothing.
No.
No. I know you would be willing because you let me raffle a Graz jersey off. And
Oh, I'll get you jersey.
yeah, send me a Graz jersey for the shed, man. I don't know why we're always worried about for London and Straubing, and those guys keep talking about it but not being about it? I want a
I'll get
jersey
you a
from
Graz
everybody in the
jersey.
shed. What's cool
So
for
you
me though
should.
is the first raffle we ever did in the shed was to help my friends that his wife had been in a car accident, and you donated that jersey. Someone donated the Steven Dixon jersey. I also raffled my own off from the Devils, and I think we made like $1,600, and I got to stop by their house.
Sick.
They didn't know I was doing it. They didn't know what I was up to. And then I just showed up with the kids with a Two L's and Hockey Tails hat with an envelope with $1,600 in it. And then we just dropped it off. And I said, here you go, buddy. And then we left. And I'm like, God, that was fun. And
That's
now
good.
I'm one of his coaches and I'm helping coach the Ripley Wolves and he's the captain, you know?
Little things go a long way.
Well, and you want to help good people if you can, right?
So yeah, I'm a believer in karma.
Karma can be a bitch, but karma can be great.
Yeah.
Mm,
When it works your way, it's great.
right. It all works out in the wash is a saying from Elmira, Ontario. Um, that's what my buddies would always say when they'd be buying around and they'd just say, it all works out in the wash. And I believe that.
I don't know. When did you last buy a round, Wally?
That's what's great about it. Dease says I usually
96?
I usually don't have to.
No,
I've had quite a few people let me know that if I come to Cardiff in June, I will not be paying for beer.
I don't think you've ever paid for beer.
I'm not that good
Just,
at it.
just, just hang out at the bar and fucking. Oh, whose beer is this? I'll take this. Yoink.
Yeah, usually the fans are nice there and they would offer to buy me one. And I thought, huh, yes, I can drink a beer if you buy it for me.
I thought Benty was a T-Rex and his arms didn't reach his pockets, but you got shorter arms than Benty.
They are short. I have a lot of things to pay for with this minor hockey and parenting and going places and doing stuff and staying in hotels. It's expensive.
Oh yeah.
And that can mean the world to a guy when you go back to Cardiff for like Batchy's testimonial. And all the guys know I have a lot going on, and they keep buying me drinks because they know that. And then I don't have to, Dease, so I don't have to feel bad about it because people offered to buy me the beers.
We were in we were definitely in one for those few days.
Benty was awesome though that weekend. Somebody stop me.
Yeah, Benty was off.
Every
Benty
time
was
he'd
allowed
open
out of
up and
his
drink,
cage
he'd say that the whole weekend.
because Jenna wasn't there, so he was allowed out of his cage, and he was just wild.
You know what's weird about the small world is he just got a job in my hometown.
Oh, did he?
He's working in Elmira, Ontario, Monday to Friday. Yeah.
What's he doing now? Because like last I saw, he was on cruises, trying to sell cruises or something.
He was in the
I
wealth
I can't
management
keep up with him.
stuff. Now he's, I think that, well, it's PIB. I think they're an insurance company, but or something. I don't know. I better not talk if I don't know what I'm talking about.
No,
You know.
I can't keep up with Benty. He's always shaking and moving.
Well, the guy that like hired him or he's working with, or I don't know what the setup is, but he was the guy that gave me my first junior B tryout when I was 13 years old. And then he went on to coach in the OHL. And I never played for him, but we know each other, and he's a beauty. And he gave me my first chance to try out in junior B as like the youngest kid out there. And now he works with Benty, and I think, huh, what a small world.
Hockey is a small world.
It
It's the
really is.
smallest of worlds. Like I got a guy on my team that spent 2.5 years with Lordo when he was in Greenville. Oh, we have some talks. We have some talks. Got some stories out of that one.
Yeah, I wonder how he's doing coaching kids now.
I don't know. I
Who's
wonder how
your
many
best
kids
player?
have quit hockey.
Who's your best player?
I, I don't really know because we got such a
No, they're all just so good.
such a spectrum. You know what I mean? Like our captain is Corby Holzer, 10 years with the in the NHL, mostly with the Maple Leafs,
Yeah, yeah, I know that guy.
and
German
then
guy, isn't he?
he's yeah, assistant captain, Team Germany for a number of years. He's our D man, and he's a huge and a monster, and
Mm,
he just watching him play, he just doesn't get flustered. Just but then now and again he'll do some random disco shit, and you're like, what the fuck? And
mm.
then someone's doing some construction outside. Um, and then we got Marcus Vela. He was in Banska Bystrica last year, and he's
Slovakia?
flying around. Yeah, he was in Slovakia last year, and he's flying around, putting up points galore. Uh, Guy Casey Bailey played a couple of years for Anaheim, and he was in the Dell for a number of years last year. Last few years. Um, our goalie's a wall. So like we've got a really good balance, like
Yeah.
of disco guys who can do all the finesse stuff. Then we got
The mucker
the
uppers.
grinders. Yeah, you got the grinders,
Yeah, you
and
need a
then
balance. You need all the different pieces.
yeah, and we've got a good balance. It's because you can have a team of superstars, and they're not all going to work together, and they're going to be on different pages,
Or
and then
getting
it's just
upset
not
when
going
they
to
don't
work.
get the ice time or they're not in the right spot in the
Yeah,
power play. Yeah.
yeah. I've always been this guy. I've always been that guy. Well, now you're
Well,
not.
now
Well,
you're not. Figure it out.
you know.
My hockey team has had an interesting start to the season. We went to a tournament right away, right after tryouts. Had the best hockey weekend I had, other than winning all Ontario last year. But like the boys all shaved each other's heads. They shaved my head. Um, then did the highest furthest belly flop I could do, can do. I flew. I
That's a lot of
sailed.
belly.
Man, I was into it and I played well and jumped far. And then we ended up winning the tournament, and my new captain scores the game-winning goal with a minute and a half left. We win the trophy. We're on cloud nine. It's pool party time at the Humpers, and we have the best time ever. And then we play like a Tuesday night game after school, and holy moly, man, it was like watching us
Hit the
play.
bed.
It was like after the Challenge Cup when we had won the Challenge
Oh,
Cup and then had to go back to Sheffield and lost 11-1. We played a
yeah.
team that, in my opinion, is not nearly as good as us. And we lost 4-3 and they beat us. And it was embarrassing. And I was upset, but I kind of saw it coming after the weekend we'd put together. I think I got them way too high, like way too high. And then all of a sudden, they didn't know how to play like the normal games because the weekend we had was so electric. And then we
Yeah.
lost that game, and then we just lost, was it yes, on the weekend. We lost again to a team hopefully we can beat next time. But you know, um, we'll figure it out. I have everything I need. I have all the right pieces. I just need to figure out how to solve this puzzle because the last two games have not been very good. But we've won a trophy already, so whatever.
Yeah, you got one in the bag, but you don't want to rest on that.
No, I know. And this 0-2 is really upsetting me. I get all fired up when I lose, you know?
But then that's also might be something the kids need is a kick in the ass.
Oh, I think they've gotten what they've needed the last two games, and realistically, we've gotten what we deserve. We deserve to win the tournament, and we deserve to lose the next two games. You know,
That's it. Now it's that they've had the wake up call. It's back to work. Let's go. Let's figure it out. Do what we need to do, and then you can fix the problems.
hmm
You're not all rock stars anymore.
right. Uh,
Back to grinding.
Little bugger got invited to play for the AAA team in a tournament this weekend, and
That's expensive.
it is, but a good opportunity for him. But I said my team comes first, and we're 0-2, and he's playing for me on Saturday. So I have to decide if I'm going there and playing him playing a Thursday and two games on the Friday, and then ripping back to play for our own team on the Saturday. You know, busy times in the world.
But he's at the age where he can do that, and he's got the energy
Right,
to
he'll be fine.
be whereas you asked most guys in their late 20s, early 30s to do that schedule, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, no."
Right,
And
but these
and
kids
and
want it still.
yeah, they got the young legs, recovery's quicker. They can survive on six chicken nuggets and a Fanta and just go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Whereas me, just to be the equipment guy, I'd be like, oh, I need two IVs,
You're gonna be getting right into this IV thing, aren't you?
oh, I'll be all over it. Be
When you
sat
were
here
when you were
watching
sing
TV, just hooked up.
when you were singing that song in Welsh, and you were so sick, it was the funniest video.
Oh, I was dying. My
You were
my
like
voice was like,
cross-eyed.
I was like,
you looked like you were dying.
yeah,
But a
yeah.
beautiful voice on you when you get going.
That was at well, I was actually getting better at that stage. You should have seen me on Tuesday and Wednesday. I got to work, I hung out the laundry, and I just sat in my office. I was like, don't come anywhere near me. Don't come in my office. I don't want anyone else getting whatever I got.
Mm.
And they'd leave their skates outside the door. I'd take their skates. I'd
I
sanitize
wouldn't
my
want to be
hands,
anywhere near
sharpen them.
you if you looked like that.
Oh, I was horrible. So I was sanitizing my hands and stuff, then giving the skates back outside the door, and I was like, "There you go, leave me alone."
Yeah. You definitely needed to quarantine the way you looked, but you still
Yeah,
could sing, man. You were a gamer, you know?
I'm
And
always ready to shine.
Maxie, if he's listening today, wasn't good enough. He says he doesn't sing. Well, we're in a group chat and we're not sharing that with anybody else. So get your voice out and like let's hear you sing, right? Because it's fun.
Yeah, he sung like four words and said that'll do. It's like, come on,
Yeah, it's just not good enough. How are we gonna win like that?
dig
Right?
deep for you, buddy.
Yeah. So anything else new that we got to talk about before we carry on with life?
No, my girl's back here in 11 days. She's in it for a week. And then she has to fly home on the Sunday morning, and I fly home for 6 days on the Monday morning because we got international break, so I get to go home. So I'm actually super excited because I finalized that trip yesterday, booked the flight and the train from Heathrow back to Cardiff and everything. So that's
It,
one thing I do really love about being over here is international breaks and that we
I
get those few days off.
I couldn't agree more. When I was playing in Europe, those international breaks were the most memorable weeks of the season because you could go
Oh
travel,
yeah.
you could go do stuff and not have to be a hockey player and just be a tourist in Europe for a week.
And recover. Like
Yeah,
it's a
take
long
a break
season.
from it all. Yeah, take a breather.
Yeah.
I totally
The
agree.
long season, you as Lodo used to say after every game, get your rest, get your recovery.
Yeah. Yeah. I was really good at rest and recovery.
Oh yeah. And then I fly back here on the Sunday night. I think I land at the at Graz airport here at like 11, so I'll get home at 11:30 and then report back into the rink for 7:30 Monday morning.
So
Back to
you
go
are
time and
they're
give us
giving
some.
the players like the full week off.
I think it's 6 days, yeah.
That's awesome. Good for them. I tell them well done because I was on teams where they wouldn't and you would just practice and you're like, I know about every other important guy in the league that are all on vacations having fun and living, and you're making us bag skate every day. This is horrible, and I'm not going to have fun and I'm not going to play better afterwards.
There's still teams in this league that give guys like 2 days off and then they make them skate for like 10 days straight. Then they give them a
Stupid.
day off, skate
Stupid.
for 2 days, and then they'll go back to the next game. And I'm like, let the guys recharge.
1 second. Game back on. Sorry about that. Real
Hello.
real world stuff, you know?
I don't have that on a Monday.
But the one memory I have was I was in Bietigheim. I believe I think I was around 20 goals in 20 games come the break, and our team wasn't doing well. And guys had flights booked, hotels booked, and because we weren't doing well, they then at the last second say,
Love that.
we're not going anywhere, and you guys are bag skating all week." And now you're telling your players that their hotel money's gone, their flights money's
Yep.
gone, and you think they're gonna play harder for you after the break?
No, they'll just mail it in and tell you, well, go fuck yourself.
Right. And then they have the coach do that to us and then fire him at the end of the week anyways. And it's like, so you made him bag skate us all week and then you fire him. It's like, and now we're supposed to be happy.
Yeah,
Wild.
it's
It's a
it's
different
just
world
dumb.
out there sometimes, isn't it?
Who was the coach then?
Danny Held. He was a beauty, great guy, but he was doing what he was told to do, and that was to bag us for the week.
Oh, so
But yeah, he's since passed, but he was a beauty. I actually really enjoyed playing for the guy, but we didn't have the budget and didn't have good enough players when he was our coach. But the first time he became the coach, because we had fired the guy we had, and then he comes in from coaching the minor hockey or whatever. And the first time we were going to go over power play, he just gave me the board and said, "Well, like, tell them what we're doing." And I loved it.
you're like, okay, I'm running a power play.
Okay, and we're gonna start doing the drop back before anybody else does, and you're gonna drop it to me.
What, you were coming with speed through the middle? Who was pushing you?
I was fast Dease back in the day. When I was Kugel Blitz before I hurt my knee, I was Kugel Blitz, which means round lightning.
I know what
Um,
it means.
and then I hurt my knee, and then the Blitz was gone, and then I was just Kugel.
Then you would just Google. Then they would just round.
And that's when you saw me. I was just Kugel rolling around out there. Are you making fun of my breathing now?
Yeah.
Yeah, conditioning is still a problem. Whatever,
Once once
Deese.
you
My cousin
once you
told
get
me
to a certain
yesterday,
age,
hey, my cousin yesterday at Thanksgiving told me that this is the skinniest he's seen me since high school. So go fly a kite, Deese. I'm happy.
good for you. Good for you, Wally.
Hmm.
Long
Um,
may it continue.
I agree. Um, so I guess we should carry on with the day, eh?
Yeah, yeah. I gotta cook some dinner here. It's 6:15 my time, so I guess it's 1:15 your time.
12:15.
Or 12:15. Yeah, yeah. Forget you. I- I'm still thinking on British time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Um,
6 behind me.
yeah. I gotta figure out how to have fun today, you know?
Back to work. Kids will be home soon.
Yeah, today's a holiday here. It's Thanksgiving, so I'm off work
Oh,
today. Yeah.
oh yeah, of course it's Thanksgiving.
Hmm. Well, if anybody is getting sick of us talking on the podcast, feel free to not listen to us
Welcome,
because we don't care. This was fun and I laughed a lot and it made my day better. So thanks for coming, Dees.
welcome, Wally.
Right.
Anytime.
And Maxie, be a better singer on the group chat. Wasn't good
Yeah.
enough. We need better out of you. We need more, right?
Dig deeper, Maxi. Be a team player.
Yeah. Sing, boy. And this has been another episode of Two L's Knox Tales with Dease and Wally.